In our implementation of interp for Mo, we keep repeating this awkward pattern, where we have match with some call, and then we're matching that against a res pattern just so we can give names to the value part and the store part separately. And this is awkward because it's a lot of typing, and also because it's a little upside down. Normally we would write something like let with the variables that we want to bind, and then the expression that provides those variable values, and then the body after that to use those variables. So again, we have something like this match. It would be nicer to write something like let, or I'll call it reslet because it's specific to res, where we have two variables that we assign equal to the result of some call, typically an interp call, and then we have a body after that. Now the parts that I've written in italics, those are the parts that change each time. Each time we have a different kind of call, interp with different arguments, say, and we pick different variable names and we have different bodies, but the part that's not in italics stays the same. So if we imitate our parser matches, then we would have dollar signs in front of these italic parts, the parts that change. We would really like to change anything that matches this pattern with reslac into a form with match and a res pattern instead. And if we put quotes around these two things and use the keyword macro, then we can actually define this transformation. So here we're defining the reslet macro that matches parts of Shplait syntax that follow this pattern and rewrites it to patterns of Shplait syntax that's afterwards. So kind of like using match in our parser, but now we're doing it at the Shplait level, changing Shplait terms into other Shplait terms. For example, if I write reslet vr stor equals interp, etc. in this other res result, then the Shplait compiler will see this reslet, based on this macro definition, rewrite it into this form. That is, vr will match up with vid here, stor will match up stoid, this whole interp call will match up with call there. And so it produces a match with that call, that is, match with that interp call. And then res with the vid and stoe, which is vr stor in this case, and so on. When we use that inside of our interpreter, then the plus e case, for example, will look like this instead of using nested matches. And so it ends up being a little less typing and a little bit easier to read. See store reslet.rhm to see how it works out for the whole interpreter.